So I've been working on a couple of tillers today. Both of these, the best of my knowledge, the customer said they've been sitting around for 2, maybe 3 years, and he's trying to get them running. And this one actually was not too bad. It was a yard machine, 5 horsepower. And all it took, it was actually in pretty good shape. I checked everything out, and all I did was just take off the carburetor, clean it up, get all the junk out, make sure the fuel tank was clean, and it started right up. The other one, on the other hand, is going to be a little challenge, and let me show you what this one is. Now this one looks like a pretty nice tiller. It's a Craftsman. It looks okay. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but with this one, you can see when I'm trying to pull it, I mean it's frozen. So could be a couple of things. I mean it could be seized, or it could be hydrolocked. So I'm going to go through the steps and show you what to do to fix this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look at this, and because I can't even pull it at all, so it's probably seized. If it was hydrolocked, maybe it would still move just a bit, because with the hydrolock, it's if it's overfilled with oil or something happens, it tipped over, and oil gets up above the cylinder head, right? So on the compression stroke, when it's going up, it can't compress oil like it does air, so it gets stuck, or it gets really hard to move. It depends on how much oil gets in there. If it's seized, I might have to spray some PB blaster or something down into the cylinder through the spark plug. Take off the spark plug and see if some PB blaster, or some guys use diesel, some use transmission fluid. I mean it's just a matter of preference. Whatever, PB blaster is pretty harsh, but it does the job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the spark plug off and see what it looks like. See if it's fouled up, and I'm going to check the oil and make sure. I want to see if it's overfilled or what's going on. Well, the plug looks, it is bone dry, so I do believe we're going to have to try to unseize this thing. And I don't think it's gonna, well, it's not going to turn over even with the spark plug off. I'm going to leave it off. Now I'm going to check the cover and make sure that it's not your pull, the spring rope here. I want to make sure that that is not stuck. We'll just keep digging down in there and see what happens. Okay. It's knocking over there, so it's pulling freely. I know that isn't frozen. It's just totally seized. So what I'm going to try to do is spray some PB blaster down into the cylinder through the spark plug hole and let it sit for a little while. See if that'll loosen it up. Okay, as you can see, I thought my camera was on, but it was not. But you can see I took off the covers there, took off the gas tank, and took off the well, I had to take the gas tank off and the muffler off to be able to take this housing off. And you can see it's pretty rusted, so I don't, while I have it open, I'm just going to get some sandpaper and try to smooth that down a little bit. Looks like the gap is okay here on your magneto. But the biggest thing, I had put PB Blaster down into the spark plug hole, and with all this off, I was going to check the key, the flywheel key and all that good stuff, and while I was jiggling it around, sure enough, it came loose. So the PB Blaster did the trick. I'm going to clean this up, and I'm sure I'll, clean the carburetor up, give it a good tune-up, and see if it'll crank up. Okay, so let's cut everything on. There's the on-off switch. Choke is on, fuel is on. Alright, so it's working. The sucker was frozen before, but that little shot of PB Blaster did the trick, and I went in and cleaned out all the carburetors, cleaned all the fuel lines in the tank, and you saw some of the smoke coming out of there. So after the video, I'll probably run this thing for about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes or so, to make sure all that PB Blaster is burned off in there. But that's it. If it's frozen like that, just first check and make sure that it's not your pull rope that's caught somewhere, and then check your spark plug. If it's covered in oil or something, then it's probably a hydrolock instead of just being seized. But this one was definitely seized, and from the looks on the inside, it looks like it was there was a lot of rust on the flywheel, and I'll bet it was some water got in there and just seized the engine inside. But that's it. So so be sure to subscribe to the DIY Tool channel and look for more videos.